Okay, so we live in this age, right? AI is everywhere. Algorithms are nudging us. Does something like leadership, forged out in the wild, still even matter?
Or maybe it matters more than ever, especially with how things feel right now.
Yeah, that feeling, that's like constant change, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dizzying sometimes. You get these huge AI breakthroughs almost daily, it seems.
Uh-huh. And then the flip side, screen addiction, or you look at cities like Miami dealing with rising sea levels, real
It
consequences.
really does feel like a roller coaster, one that just keeps going.
Yeah. No end in sight sometimes.
So how do we actually lead? How do we thrive when, well, there's no clear map anymore?
Hmm.
What if? What if the answer isn't trying to avoid all the turbulence?
But leaning into it, using it.
Exactly. Using it like a forge
Hmm.
for a different kind of leadership, one that's born from adversity, not comfort.
That's exactly the idea we're digging into today. It's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it?
It really is.
Our main source for this deep dive is a really compelling book. It's Outward Bound Lessons to Live a Life of Leadership. To Serve, to Strive, and Not to Yield by Mark Michaux Brown.
Wow.
And it's not just theory, it explores this whole concept of the expeditionary leader. There's some incredible real stories, people whose lives were really changed by Outward Bound.
Right. So that's our mission for you listening in on this deep dive. We want to unpack these core principles of expeditionary leadership that come from Outward Bound
Yeah, show how they apply.
and show how these skills, the ones maybe people used to call soft skills,
Mm-hmm.
how they're actually essential now. They're really the hard skills you need for work, for life, whatever challenges pop up.
Couldn't agree more. They're fundamental. Hashtag the roots of expeditionary leadership from wilderness to workplace.
So let's rewind a bit. Where did this whole philosophy actually start? Outward Bound. It's more than just camping, right?
Oh, definitely. At its heart, it's this incubator for a certain kind of leadership, born from pushing limits, usually out in the wilderness.
Yep.
It's this international network, basically. Small groups leave, the safety zone, they head into the unknown, face challenges, often in places where things change fast.
And they don't just get through it.
No, that's the key. They're transformed. They gain real wisdom from the experience.
And who is the mind behind this?
That's fascinating, too. The founder was Kurt Hahn, a German-born Jewish educator.
Okay.
And back in the early 20th century, he saw these trends he was worried about. He called them the 6 declines.
6 declines, like what?
Things like declining fitness, initiative, imagination, even craftsmanship, self-discipline, and compassion. He felt society was losing something important.
Wow. So how did he try to fight that?
Well, first he set up schools, like Schule, Schloss Salem in Germany, and then Gordonstown in Scotland. Prince Philip actually went there.
Interesting connection.
But Outward Bound itself, the actual model, came out of World War II, a real wartime need. He was asked to create this intense training program for young merchant Marines. The goal was to boost their survival rates if their ships were sunk by U-boats in the North Sea.
Wow. High stakes.
Extremely high. So he designed this experience to rapidly build resilience, trust, teamwork,
Yeah.
all under intense pressure. That became the blueprint.
That's incredible. From wartime survival to a global educational movement, how did he make sure it lasted, though? Did he lead it all himself?
That's a great question. He actually used this metaphor. Midwifery.
Midwifery.
Yeah. He saw his role as sparking the idea, giving people the tools, the skills to sort of birth their own impact, and then he'd step back, let others run with it.
So less about control, more about enabling.
Exactly. And that approach, that's why Outward Bound's ideas could spread way beyond just wilderness trips. You see its DNA in public school reform, like EL education.
Right.
And even in corporate training through Outward Bound Professional. But the core, that moral purpose Hahn believed in, that's always there.
And that purpose seems really captured in their motto, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To serve, to strive, and not to yield.
Precisely. Those are the 3 keys we're going to explore, just like in the book. Starting with to serve. It's foundational. Hashtag the key of to serve leadership through purpose and impact. Okay, to serve. This is really the bedrock of the whole Outward Bound leadership idea. It flips the script on leadership. It's not about your title or how much power you have.
So what is it about then?
It's about having a deep sense of purpose and making a real positive difference for others. There's this interesting paradox, too. By serving, with humility, putting others or the world first, you actually end up finding real accomplishment, real fulfillment for yourself.
That's powerful. And the book gives examples, right?
Oh, yeah. A big one is Arthur Blank, co-founder of Home Depot, owner of the Atlanta Falcons' Atlanta United soccer team.
Right. I know the name.
He really connected with this outward-bound service philosophy. He built his businesses, the teams, golf stuff, ranches, his foundation, all around this core idea.
Which idea specifically?
Being of service to others, making people happy, essentially.
Oh.
His whole focus is on impacting lives positively. It's not just a side project for him.
That's quite a commitment.
And it ties into what we know about work today, doesn't it? That sense of purpose. It's huge for motivation, intrinsic motivation.
You mean people work harder if they feel their work matters?
Exactly. They work harder, they produce more, they tend to stay in their jobs longer, and they even report being healthier. It's not fluffy stuff, it's a strategic advantage.
And there are other examples too.
Definitely. Think about Laura Kohler at Kohler Co., the kitchen and bath company.
Okay. VP of HR and Social Impact.
That's her. She gets thousands of their employees involved in using their skills for good. Like, they developed this affordable, portable water filter system.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for communities without clean water, came out of an Innovation for Good workshop. It shows service going way beyond just selling products.
Leveraging the company's strengths for a bigger purpose.
Precisely. And it's not just massive companies. Take the Grappone Automotive Group.
Car dealership.
Yeah.
That sounds like a tough industry for this kind of thing.
Right. Notoriously cutthroat, super high employee turnover is the norm.
Yeah, I bet.
But Grappone completely changed their mission statement. It became about building lifelong relationships with everyone, team members, customers, the community, through integrity, kindness, respect, basically serving people.
And did it work in car sales?
Amazingly well. Their sales floor turnover dropped dramatically, like some years below 15% when the industry average is over 70.
70%. Wow. That's a huge difference.
It shows how powerful purpose can be, even in unexpected places. It impacts the bottom line, sustainability, everything.
So the takeaway here, for you listening, how might you align your own work, your own life, with something bigger than just, say, financial goals? Where does service fit in for you?
It's a really important question to ask. Hashtag the key of to strive, embracing uncertainty and growth. Okay, so after to serve, we get to the next key, to strive.
Right. Serving is the foundation, but striving is
What?
The action part.
Sort of. It's this constant desire, this yearning, really, to learn more, to do better, just to be better. It's not about reaching some final goal and stopping.
It sounds like it involves some risk.
Absolutely. It requires being willing to fail, seeing setbacks not as the end, but as information, as fuel to push on when things get tough. It's often in that struggle, that striving, that you really discover what you're made of.
You know, that makes me think of an educator mentioned in the book, Paul Pablo Staton.
Ah, yes, the watershed school example.
Exactly. He had this really unique way of teaching, like exploring Chinese culture. He didn't just lecture, did he?
No, he guided them. He created space for the students to find what they were curious about. Then they took this immersive trip, right?
Yeah.
San Francisco's Chinatown.
We had doing interviews, engaging with the community directly.
It's a perfect example of learning while leading. Pablo was striving alongside his students, willing to admit he didn't have all the answers, which actually made the learning richer for everyone.
That takes humility.
It does. And speaking of striving through uncertainty, Mark Michaux Brown, the author, talks about his own experience at Grappone Automotive.
The car dealership group again.
Yeah. They decided to completely change how they sold cars, get rid of the usual high-pressure stuff.
It sounds risky.
Hugely risky. They knew the next year or so would be incredibly tough. They were told they'd probably lose most of their salespeople, tons of revenue. It was their burn the lifeboats moment.
Wow. Did they?
They embraced it, stepped onto this totally unknown path, and ultimately it led to national recognition, a transformed company culture. They didn't just survive the striving, they used it to become better.
So striving involves embracing the unknown even when it's scary.
Definitely. And that ties into curiosity, which comes up again with former U.S. Senator Mark Udall.
He's involved with Outward Bound too, right?
Yeah, he led the Colorado school for a time. He talked about loving the chance as a senator to just be curious for the people of Colorado, learning from experts in all sorts of fields.
And he stressed humility.
He did. The importance of admitting you don't know anything, that openness, that constant desire to learn, that's a form of striving too, especially for leaders.
It seems like adversity plays a big role here.
It really does. Adversity can crack you open to learning in a way comfort never does. Look at Delaney Reynolds.
The young activist.
Yeah. Tore her ACL as a teenager, got really depressed. But instead of staying there, she channeled that struggle.
Into the Sink or Swim project.
Exactly. This international nonprofit about climate change, sea level rise. She ended up speaking at the UN General Assembly. Her striving through that personal hardship led to incredible impact. She found her resolve.
So for you listening,
Yeah.
what uncertainty are you maybe avoiding right now?
Yeah.
What could striving into that unknown actually open up for you?
It's about seeing challenges not just as problems, but maybe as invitations. Hashtag tag the key of not to yield, resilience, values, and trust. And that brings us to the third key, not to yield.
Okay, so we've served, we've strived.
Yeah.
What does not yielding mean in this context? Is it just being stubborn?
Well, maybe a little stubbornness helps sometimes. But it's deeper than that. It's about resilience, real character development. It's about refusing to just accept things as they are, especially if they conflict with your values.
Standing your ground, basically.
Staying true to your principles, yeah. Even when, maybe especially when, there's pressure to do otherwise, like steel being tempered, expeditionary leaders get stronger through facing that heat, that pressure. It clarifies what they stand for.
Laura Culler's story comes up again here, doesn't it?
It does. When she first joined the Outward Bound USA National Board,
She felt ignored, like she wasn't being utilized.
right, she was much younger than the others, felt overlooked for about a year, but she didn't just quietly accept it or fade away.
What did she do?
She didn't yield to that discomfort. She went straight to the leadership and said, basically, use my skills or I'm out.
Wow, that's direct.
It was. And that determination, that refusal to just be a token member, eventually led her to become the board chair. She demanded to contribute based on her value.
That's not taking the easy path.
Right. Not at all. And that kind of courage, not yielding, it goes right back to Kurt Hahn himself.
How so?
Well, he openly spoke out against Hitler and Nazism in Germany at huge personal risk.
He was jailed for it, wasn't he?
He was. He refused to back down, refused the easy way out, even facing serious danger. His supporters got him released eventually, thankfully, but his resolve was absolute.
That same kind of principled stand, that grit, we saw it with Mark Udall, too.
Yeah, in his political career. After 9/11, he stood against enhanced interrogation techniques.
Torture, basically.
Right. Even though it wasn't a popular position at the time, he felt it went against core American values.
He had that quote, right, about climbing mountains.
You don't schmooze your way up a mountain, you climb the damn thing.
He chose the hard path based on principle, not popularity. That's not yielding.
It seems like a big part of not yielding is also not yielding to your own fear or doubt.
Oh, absolutely critical. There's a great story about Rumap, the founder of Outdoor Afro.
She was on an outward bound course doing a climb at night. It was dark. She was scared.
Understandable.
And her instructor didn't rush in to save her. He just said, Rue, just trust your feet.
Trust your feet.
Yeah. Trust that you have what you need right there. That became like her life mantra. It helped her get to the top of that climb, and it's guided her in her work leading African American leaders in nature ever since. Believing in your own capability, even when you feel unsure.
And that instructor's action, letting her struggle a bit,
Yeah.
that seems important too.
Hugely important. It ties into leaders needing to let go sometimes, allow people to face consequences, to figure things out. It builds those life muscles, as the book calls them. Rue built resilience because she wasn't immediately rescued.
Trusting others to find their way.
Exactly. And Peter Bailey from the Prouty Project, he talks about seeing his whole life as one long outward bound course.
Applying these principles constantly.
Yeah. When his wife faced a cancer diagnosis, which is just devastating, he consciously applied this framework. Serve, strive, not yield.
How did not yield fit there?
He didn't yield to despair. He framed it as a call to adventure, a challenge they would face together, an opportunity to serve his family through it all. He embraced the difficulty rather than letting it crush him.
So again, turning to you listening.
Yeah.
Where might you be taking the easier route right now? What discomfort are you avoiding? And what could you potentially gain by deciding not to yield, by stepping into it?
It's about finding that inner strength, that commitment to your values and your own growth. So at the end of the day, these three keys to serve, to strive, and not to yield, what do they unlock for expeditionary leaders?
It seems like they unlock purpose.
Yeah.
A way to make a meaningful contribution.
Exactly, a way to connect, to be part of a a more vibrant global community. It's the opposite of isolation. It's about engagement and meaning.
And the name itself, Outward Bound, you mentioned it, ties in.
Yeah, it's an old nautical term. When a ship was ready to leave the harbor, head out to the open sea, they'd raise a flag, the outward bound flag.
Leaving safety behind.
Right. There's that great saying, ships in the harbor are safe. But that's not what ships are for.
They're meant to be outward bound.
They are. And really, underpinning this whole philosophy are two core ideas totally intertwined.
Right.
First, each of us has way more in us than we realize. More strength, more resilience, more capability than we think.
Okay. And the second,
We need each other. We discover that hidden strength often through connection and mutual support.
so the final thought for you, listening. In this world that feels like it's constantly changing, maybe even a bit unstable, you actually already have these fundamental keys just through understanding these lessons. The question isn't really if you can handle what's coming.
The question is how.
Yeah. How will you use these ideas, serving, striving, not yielding, to lead right from where you are? You don't need a fancy title. How will you make that positive impact? For yourself, sure, but also for others and for the world around you.
It's a powerful challenge to consider.